We went places like from Mexico to British Columbia to Jamaica, all the way to Bangkok, Thailand, and, up in the Koh Islands. We're always there for each other. And, God love him. I really feel sorry for his kids. And there's one woman in here that my hat's got to go off to her. She really supported David in the back here with his wife, and that's you, Charlotte. Thank you for just being who and what you are. I could go on for hours. I know he was. He mentored so many people, not just me. He was a great coach. We've been 27 years together, affecting people's lives. And, it won't be the same. And I'll see him again when I get to heaven. And I tell everybody, you're in my heart, and we all love you.
I met David in January of 1999. I'll never forget meeting him and hearing him stand up and introduce himself. And one of the comments that he made was he was so proud of his family. Through the years, we became really good friends. I have a terrible picker when it comes to husbands, but I have an extraordinary picker when it comes to friends. And David was a true friend. He was a kind of guy that gal could count on. During my happiest times, I look around and David was there with me. And in my darkest time, you have those moments that put you on your knees and make you reevaluate who you are. It was David who called me and gave me horrible news, put me back together again, and encouraged me to go on with my life. I lost such a mentor. We had so much fun coaching. We were the alliance. We created the best team. We caused Teresa to have more gray hairs. We would go out there and we would just do it the alliance way. But we liked the results that we created. We knew that we had touched people's lives and made them move on. David certainly touched mine. I would not have met him, and it's so interesting how everyone in this room is connected in some way. And I would not have met him had it not been for my niece Anna, who said, you gotta go to this place and listen to these people talk. And I did, and the person that I saw that caught my eye was Charlotte. And she said something that resonated in my heart. I thought, okay, I'll take a look at this. I'll explore this. And I did, and in January, who was in the class with me? The David Ballantyne. For that I am eternally grateful. All of us are here to celebrate this wonderful life. Isn't it amazing what one man can do to pull all of us together from all places? I miss him terribly, and I absolutely cherish the memories. I am so grateful I had this great man in my life.
Hi everybody. My name is Sean, and David was a very good friend of mine. I think everybody knows how much he meant to yourselves individually, whether it's your family or friends. What can you say about a guy who meant so much to so many people? He was all about relationships, and it's pretty obvious from everybody in the room how he pulled everybody together, like Joy said. He had a lot of life stories, and there was a lot of things he did in his life. Some of the people in the room have been on a lot of trips and a lot of experiences with him through life coaching and PSI and self-development and construction sales and every area of life. And I have never met anybody in my life that was a better life coach to me. I mean, the conversations we had, he was all about getting in touch with your why, your compelling why. And through his coaching and through Cy and a lot of people that know him and his family, it's pretty obvious that he was really good at bringing people together. And I think he would want everybody in this room today to be smiling and celebrating his life, because he was such a connector of people, and he just loved having a good time and bringing people together. And Dave, I love you. You're always going to be in my heart, and let's have a good time and remember him. Thank you.
Yeah, Dave was not only my hero, but my best friend. He was my brother. Told myself I wouldn't do this. Well, a lot of you didn't know about Dave. He was born in Iowa, Charles City. We grew up there as kids, and that's kind of where he started his, life, and developed his attitude and how he looked at people and family. And some of the people Lord said, there wasn't a kinder, gentler person that I ever knew. When we were kids, we would put on our ice skates. In Charles City, where we lived, we'd get ice skate on the streets and the sidewalks because it had compacted snow and ice to get to the outdoor ice rink they had in town. We would ice fish in the winter. We would, fish in the summertime. Both our grandparents had farms there. We grew up on those, and we were heartbroken, devastated, because my mom wanted to move to California. Let's move to California, we thought. 1963, we moved to California. And before 1964, we absolutely loved California and adopted that as our second home. And in high school, Dave was a swimmer. And I think his freshman year, he was on the JV swimming the water polo team. Next 3 years, he made varsity and led it all 3 years. He qualified for the Junior Olympics. And he went there and he swam against some guy, you might have heard of him, Mark Spitz. And, Dave was sorry he met him. He was an excellent swimmer, and as you know, everything he did, he gave it 110%. And he was into outdoor life and sports. And, as you saw from the memory table, he loved bowling, he loved golf. I wanted to be a pilot. I talked about flying for so long that Dave decided, I'm just going to go do it. And real good personal friend of his and a business associate, maybe some of you know Chuck English, said, you know what, Dave? I got an airplane, but I don't want you to learn in my plane. I'm going to donate my plane to the flight school so that real pilots can fly it, and you can use those hours to get your license. And then I've got his best friend that he met in high school and went swimming with and shot pool with and golf with and was in tournaments with, was a licensed pilot and a flight instructor, and he taught Dave how to fly. So he did that, and he eventually got checked out and flew Chuck's single engine high performance complex airplane. So I was always jealous of that. And he was a great friend, he was a great brother. As it said, he loved his family. He was so proud of his kids and mine. He used to come down to California after he moved to Las Vegas, and he was within 150 miles of our house, and my daughter was playing softball and my son was playing baseball. He would go out of his way to come and watch their games and drive home at night when he had to be to work at 6 the next morning. That's just the kind of guy he was. But Yeah, that's what he said. You know, I'll be together with him again. And I'm sad today not for him because he's with my mom and my dad and, you know, our sister. So I'll be with him again someday. And when we grew up in Iowa, Doug and Diana standing here, we're like our sister and brother. We're all about the same age. We grew up at you know, our grandparents' house, so we were a handful for them. But you know, I could talk for hours. But anyway, I just thank everybody for coming and being a part of his life. He enjoyed everybody. So that's good for me. Thanks.
I'm not as elegant talking as my kids, but my name's Diana. Dave was my third. Not by birth, but by love. He was my nephew, and these two are my nephews. But we were the four musketeers growing up. They always got me in a lot of trouble. They don't tell it that way, but I do. Seeing how I was the oldest and run fastest, and I was the only girl, my mom always believed me. We had a lot of fun. And part of my life has got a big hole in it, but I have these two here, and his children, and Sandy, and his grandchildren. It hasn't been very long ago that his mother died, my sister. So this is especially hard on top of that. But I want to thank you all for coming. And I appreciate the part that you played in his life. And got to know him. I didn't really know that part of his life because, you know, he was here. I was still back in Iowa. But I know he always enjoyed it. He talked about it a lot, and the people he met enjoyed and helped. So again, I thank you. And I just want everybody to know how much he was loved by his family. He was a great man. Thank you.
Dave was my cousin. He was my brother. I called and talked to him on the phone. So the first 5 minutes we talked about whatever I called for. The next 30 minutes we talked about Fox News. The next 30 minutes we talked about relationships and how people should be, and he would guide me along my path. The people at our family here, that were his friends through Shia, will tell you that he often mentioned how proud he was to be part of their group and have you as friends. So I'd come up with something, he'd go, you know, you're playing the fiction card here. He said, let me tell you about somebody I coached. And of course, he never tell me who. But he tell me circumstances. And he said, I just heard from that person, they turned out good. They took ownership. Well, I can hear him talking to me. So I just want you to know how much he did remember everybody in this room, and he really counted those friendships. I can only say that, again, he was a cousin, but we grew up as brothers and sisters. And our relationship goes far beyond how I can express it today. I can say that if he's, and I know he is looking at it, he's going, we should be on the ninth hole by now. I don't know why you're sitting here. So thank you for everybody for coming. I just wanted to know how much you meant to him and how much I love him.
And instantly ran into a friend and a mentor and a coach. They taught me that being a big-hearted man was okay. Being vulnerable was okay. And I'll always be grateful for that, for his friendship. I didn't always like what he said sometimes because he had a way of setting you straight. And doing it in the most kind and loving way. You just couldn't deny it. Had to take it in and go, I guess I see your point. And the number one thing I'll always be grateful today for is he taught me to trust him again. I grew up in a very dysfunctional home, to say the least, and never trusted men until an exercise I didn't feel me to a day about trust. And I'll always be grateful for that. And the other things he taught me was mentorship and coaching.
So I just wanted to come up real briefly and on behalf of my family, thank everybody for being here. I've spoken with my brothers and the rest of my family, and they honestly, I can really understand why I don't think they can. You want the microphone? Yeah. Yeah, so he pretty much said it all. Yeah, what he said. Basically, as you all know, he was an amazing man. And you can, I have a teacher voice. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah. So he was an amazing man, and he will be amazingly missed. I think it was Doug who was talking about his Fox News. So there isn't a day that goes by that I don't just kind of wish for one more time where I could bait him into a political argument just to see like how around I could get him going. He was and is an amazing man, and he loved us all so much. He talked about each and every one of you at every turn. And he like, can you say ice cream to my mom? He's like, no. And my brothers and I, we just wanted to let you know this is, for obvious reasons, this is a tough day for all of us, but we have a really, this is a tough day for us. My uncle said it very well. He lived an amazing life, full of joy and passion and fun. He was one of the most fun men to ever meet. He knew how to throw a party, which is, I think, what he would want for us here today. So while I know it's somber for obvious reasons, please have a drink. Tell a fun story about my dad, because that's what he would want us to do while we were here today. So thank you so much for being here. Sorry. I thank you for being a part of his life and for making it rich, and for making it joyous, and for making it what it was. Because if my dad did anything well, it was love his life and live it well while he could. So thank you for making that possible for him, because he loved every minute of it. family and I know that as hard as it was for all of us to say goodbye to him, we knew that when we were doing that, he was going to get to do all of those amazing things from now on in heaven. So we know he's at the 19th hole right now, having a drink with the rest of us. So please celebrate, enjoy, and again, thank you for being a part of his life and helping him enjoy what was his life. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I want to thank everybody for coming today. It means so much to me. So many of you knew Dave in so many wonderful situations, events. I can only tell you that every day I am grateful for the time I had with him. If I was ever upset or wanted to lash out, he would put his arms around me and say, "Now, Charlotte, how could you have said that in a more loving way?" And he taught me a lot because I'm always in a hurry. And Dave is not always in a hurry. Even when we go out to eat, he would get the check and I would say, "Okay, we gotta go to the movies. Can we hurry up?" He would say, "Wait a second. It's important to have good penmanship." Write his name, David Okay. Just relax. It's okay. We're not going to be late. There's always, trailers before they do the movies. So don't worry. But that represented what he did for me. He grounded me. He made me feel strong when I needed it. He was there always to do that. And for so many of us in this room, that's what he did as well. He grounded us all. He made us feel like whatever or whoever we wanted to be, it was possible. And enough. Thank you. One of the other people that's not here is a young man named Jacob Freudenthal. Jacob wanted to learn how to shoot guns, and so Dave took him out on the shooting range. That young man just won a bronze medal in the World Cup in shooting. And there are 100 stories like that of what he has done for people. And my biggest situation here is that I want to say that I'm grateful for the time I had with him every single day. I feel so lucky to have had him day and night for so many years. My heart goes out to all of you, and thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Eva, and Dave has been a huge part of our lives for a number of years. I met him at my brother's. He and my brother were good friends, and they would have so much fun together. And they would laugh. One of my memories of Dave was him and Gary sitting around, talking and joking and laughing so hard they both were crying. And that's who I remember Dave, just so, always with this beautiful, bright smile. When he would walk into the room, he would just bring the sunshine. The light would just flow. And I have so many memories of how he helped me, Will, and my family, and so many of our friends. And that's when he was happiest. That was my experience of how he would, Will and I teach a relationship class, and when there was this particular exercise that he would just love and he would just beam. I just remember how, it was like the light would just radiate off of him because he was so happy that he was able to impact the lives of so many people. And he loved that. That was just, he had such a passion for it. And the other thing I remember about Dave that impacted me so much was how he would listen. He wasn't thinking about what he was going to say when you were talking. He really was listening and caring about what you had to say. And I remember one day we were talking, and I remember thinking, it's like I'm the only person that matters to him. I'm sitting here talking with him, and it was just this feeling of being so cared about, so cherished. And I know he did that with everyone. I know everyone who he talked with felt that same thing, that it's such a gift to be able to do that. And I remember how he would listen and ask good questions. And, you know, he wasn't trying to, it's like he didn't have any ego involved in what he was going to say. And then he would pause. I remember he would pause. Because I've watched him do this with others too. He would do it with me. And then he would give what, you know, his sage advice, his thing that he felt would be able to help you go to the next level. And it wasn't about him, it was about you. And you knew that. You knew when he was telling you something, when he was sharing something, you know, when he was saying, you know, are you being a victim here? You knew there was just all love about it. It wasn't anything about him making a judgment. There was no judgment. There was no criticism. I never heard Dave say anything bad about anyone, ever. I never heard him criticize, even when people were doing things that, you know, were hurting him. I never heard him make a judgment. It was always, he would try to see their perspective. But, you know, and then he would give his advice. And then what would happen is you'd be moved to do the thing that was best for you. I don't know exactly how he did that. I'd like to learn that myself. But he really was able to, I always think of Dave as a master enroller, because he could enroll you in your own life. And in a way that no one else could. And he was a big part of my heart. We will miss him terribly. And I know that a part of him is with us now and always will be. And when I speak with someone now, I always try to be that person that listens, because I want to be able to emulate at least one thing that Dave did so well. And he was such a giver. He had such a huge heart. I remember one Sunday morning, I was rushing to be somewhere, and I went out in the car, and it was dead. And Dave and Charlotte just lived around the corner from us. And I called Dave, can you come over and just give me a jump so I can get on my way? And he got in his truck and came over and jumped my car. And he was always so gracious and happy to do it. You know, it was never an imposition. He never acted like I was interrupting his day. It was just such a giver. And he and Charlotte would staff our course, and they would just, you know, his happy heart always made me smile. So I know that we all miss him. I know that he is, you know, not having him in our presence is difficult. But like I said, I feel like he is in all of us. We've all been touched by his life in such a profound way.
Hello, my name is Mary. I met Dave. You can go out and maybe do it a little better. Little did I know that I would get engaged on that trip. Just shortly, probably even a few hours later.
You go, girl. After we jumped off the cliff.
She jumped off a 40-foot cliff. What I remember most about Dave was he just wanted everybody to get along. And we didn't really, and I too, I like everybody getting along, even though sometimes it's hard to do that. And that's what I learned from Dave that day was, sometimes you have to do the hard stuff. Sometimes you have to make big decisions that hurt the people that you love. Because I would be doing something that would hurt my children. They didn't want to leave their dad. They didn't want a new dad. But here we are 10 years later. Thank you, Dave. That we get through that stuff. But the only way that we can get through it is together. So, Dave was about just, again, he didn't really say a lot of words. He just would listen. That was the big thing. I think he listened long enough so that you would figure out what he needed. Because I got married. Anyway, and I know he went on to do hard stuff. But one thing I remember too was we loved our children. And he talked about his kids. So you're here today. Please know that you were more than enough for him. That the decisions that he made weren't because of you or in spite of you. He just wanted everything to work. And the gleam in his face, the smile, when he talked about you was enlightening. It was so beautiful because I know that I walked away loving my kids even more, talking about them more with a smile rather than bitching and moaning and complaining, which is kind of what I did as a single mom. So thank you, Dave, and thank you to his family, his children, and all the people that, I know for me, I'll take Dave and carry those moments to keep him alive. Do the hard stuff, talk about it, be willing to go through the pain, because there's some pain with that. I think we all know that today, love is sometimes painful. So to the depth of how you loved is to the depth of how we hurt. So with that being said, let's just keep moving on, keep Dave alive, keep doing the hard stuff, keep having fun stuff, and celebrate for sure. Thank you.
Hard to follow my wife after that one. Okay, what I'm going to say here might offend some people, so I'm sorry. Dave pissed me off. And the reason why is because he was the first Hawaiian that wasn't from Hawaii. He had this pace about him, this walk about him, was in aloha time, and I felt like I was from New York on acid dropping. And every time he would come to talk to me, it was like that fatherly love, the hand on the shoulder, like, breathe, Dan. Just breathe. And it would piss me off. Because I realized I was... And that was Dave. That was Dave for me. He was kind of like a Yoda, but with a higher... He didn't have the high pitch, he was like the low pitch, Dan. What's going on, Dan? And he would always say the right things at the right time, and that pissed me off. And it's like, people say, stop hitting yourself, stop hammering yourself. I didn't need to, I had Dave. Dave was, thanks, Dave. Oh, gosh, what do I gotta do now? But his voice was amazing wisdom. And the lessons that I get to learn from Dave, I get to pass on to the children I teach. I'm a professor at CSN. And sometimes I tell them to slow down. Sometimes I tell them, you know what? Don't rush into it. And I'm like, did I just say that? David! That was Dave. He told me just to slow things down. And it was beautiful. I would look at how he talked about his family and his children, and at that time I wanted nothing to do with children or family. And now I'm, happily married with 5 kids and 5 grandchildren, and it just now I understand what he was speaking about, and the way he loved people, it blew me away, because I'm like, how does he find time to do anything? Because he's always with other people. It's like, how does he, like for me, I'm like, how does he work? How does he make his money? And he's on yachts and he's fishing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate him. So I'm going to go through anger management, and I'll get through it. But I want to say thank you, Dave, because I love you. That's how much I hate you.
I'm Allie. This is my daughter Ariana, and I just want to share a quick story. There's so many things that I could say about Dave and how much he means to me, and the difference that he's made in my life, and the things that we've had the opportunity to do together. However, I know all of you know how much he loved to travel, and for a while we were in a travel club together, and we got to go on a really fun trip. And the thing that was so memorable, Ariana was going to share, except I think I'm going to share it for her, is she was 3. She was 3, and she kind of just learned how to swim. And Dave in the water, that's just his thing. So he spent so much time with Ariana, and they had so much swimming in Mexico. We were in Puerto Vallarta on this amazing trip. And, you know, he could have been doing anything. He could have, you know, and he spent so much time with her. And do you want to share anything about how much fun it was and what you did or the things that he taught you? She shared with me, I mean, we were talking about coming here. I asked if she remembered him. She said, yeah, he taught me how to swim. So just one more way that he gives, he can't help it. He's just such a giver, and he's given to me in so many ways, and I just want to share a fun story because it was a great trip, and he just made it that much more special.
And I just want to share a little bit about my experience with Dave. I had a great opportunity, and then I got to rent a room from Charlotte for a year. And little did I know what a great opportunity that was going to turn out to be. Because I really got to know Dave very well. There was one experience when they had a little together. And I don't know if he ever told her this, I don't think I ever told her. But he had come over to the house, and we had an opportunity to sit down and talk. And he shared with me how much he loved his children and his family. And I could tell he truly, truly loved them, and how much he didn't want to hurt them in any way. But also how much he loved Charlotte. And how she had changed his life at that time when he needed it, and how special she was to him. And he asked my advice, which I wasn't the person to give anybody advice. But, you know, it was just that sharing of time and that spending time, I really got to know him. I have other memories, like, you know, when we were doing the Jamaica trip and I was running the teddy bear drive, and he and Dan were really good friends, but for some reason they decided to compete with each other when we could bring in the most teddy bears. And so it was almost like every day, you know, Dan would come in with this many, and then Dave would come in with this many, and then Dan would come in with this many, and it was going back and forth, and it was a lot of fun. We really had a great event that time. A lot of teddy bears came in. It was wonderful. And one more memory I want to share is there was an event, I believe it was at Greg and Minnie's house in the backyard, and I was teasing Dan about his picky nose. Remember that? And Dave was there, and he just gave like one little quip here and there. But it was just so much fun because it just kept going for, you know, probably 20 or 30 minutes. And that was just Dave's personality. He didn't really get into it. He just make a little quip to get it going a little bit longer because he was really enjoying it. Dave was having so much fun with it. So just that little, yeah, keep it going. So that was a lot of fun. I love Dave. He just had a great, kind, loving personality. He was so much to so many people. And I was very blessed to get to know him and to spend time around him. And, you know, he must have an amazing family because you couldn't help but be amazing to have been a part of his family. And also, Charlotte and her family were just such great people. And I was very blessed to get to know them as well as I did, and also being part of this amazing group of all of us. You know, we're just, it is such a great opportunity in this world to spend time with these great, amazing people and get to know them and spend that quality time. And I loved Dave so much, and I will really miss him.
I was just thinking real quick that I really wanted to thank Dave's family for letting us come here and join Dave's family, you know, in their time of sorrow. And I really appreciate you letting us all in. I know there's a lot of side people other than, you know, the direct family members. And I just know how much you guys cared for them, how much work you've done in Charlotte and Dave and Sandy and all you guys. We really thank you for letting us in. It really is.
Hi, this is Magdalena, and I just want to say that Dave Ballantyne was an inspiration to me when I first met him in actually it was January of 2004. He was my PLD coach, and I was really setting my intention that he became my coach because they had to pick us, we couldn't pick them. Dave really had so much patience with me and really knew how to communicate with me, so I would open myself up as opposed to shutting down and doing foot stomping, not wanting to participate kind of thing. So he really gave me the inspiration and courage to really step out of my shell and become the woman that I am today. I love you, Dave, and you will always be forever in my heart.